All right, good morning, guys. What's going on? Needs more drums back at Drumbridge Farm for another episode in our series where we are trying to buy back all of the fields in the area and own the entire farm. So today is a very exciting day, as per usual. It's the end of the year, so it's time to sell everything that we've harvested from the past season. We have a lot of barley in the silo that we're going to sell today. We're also going to sell a lot of the silage bales that we have made over the past couple of months. There's still one field, the big field that we bought, our most recent field. We still need to wait for those to ferment. They're not completely fermented yet. But all of these the other fields like behind me here, those are all ready to go. So we'll get those sold today, and then we'll wait till the other ones are ready to go. I think we might even have another month. We might have to wait till January to get those sold. But either way, expecting a ton of money from those. They're always really lucrative. And I'm excited to sell our crops this year because we should get about double the income compared to what we did last year, because we doubled our field size. We had just this one to our right, and then we purchased the one just above it there, straight in front of us. So we got a lot to sell. And I'm really excited to see how much we're going to get. We'll definitely be able to afford another field probably by the end of this, to be honest. And I have my sights set on the next two that I want to get. You know, they're not the biggest fields in the area, but they're pretty sizable, and will definitely help us increase our revenue from our crops. So a couple of other things I added in. We'll get hooked up to the trailer here, but I added in a couple of mods, which I'm really excited about. I've been playing with them a little bit off camera when I was doing that big silage field there, and I'm really liking them so far. And I actually added in a couple more today just before recording this video. So just to summarize, we have interactive control. You might have seen as I just got into this tractor, the little thing popped up on the door, the little icon. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of tractors that support it right now. This tractor, for example, is a base game tractor, so a lot of things aren't really supported for interactive control with the base game stuff. But as we progress through the series, I hope to get some better modded tractors in the game, and things that are compatible with interactive control. It'll make it really fun and a little bit more, dare I say, interactive. I love the kind of the realism that I've been going for in the series. Has been really fun. I've liked let me see, there we go, there's the right button. Yep, see, at least we can open the door, but beyond that we can't really do much with this. But yeah, I've liked the direction that this series has been going in terms of realism. It's been fun to try out some of these mods like manual attach and everything like that. Something different. I'm not really used to playing that way, and it's been really cool so far. So we'll go ahead and fill up the trailer here from the silo. Now we have barley, 200, almost 300,000 liters. This is going to be great. So while this is filling up, let me just double check the prices. So we should be going to, we'll go to, yeah, Oakbridge Stores is looking like the best one so far. And that one, I think, is the one that's over here. Yeah, there we go. So we'll head over there. Oh, and we'll also be able to pass this field over here. So this is really cool. Second mod that I've installed, that I just installed today, is this Neighbors on the Fields mod. So what this does is it generates AI workers to take existing contracts on the map. So as you drive around, you see some tractors in the field actually doing the work. The only downside to it that I've found right now is because I use manual attach. Every time a new one is generated, a thing pops up on my screen that prompts you to attach, the hoses or whatever from the implement to the tractor. It does it automatically, but that pop-up is a bit annoying. But that's just a kind of a slight conflict with the manual attach mod, and I'm not too mad about it. It just goes away very quickly. So, whatever. But we'll see. If I don't like it, maybe we'll turn it off. But it'll be cool as we drive around the map, especially like in the springtime and the summertime. We'll see some of our neighbors working on the fields, as opposed to just having like this lifeless map where we're the only ones actually doing any work. So it'll be cool. Second thing, you'll see that we've actually named some of our fields. There's a new mod that I installed a little while ago called name your fields, or something like that. Or rename fields, field renaming, something like that. You can check it out on it's on the mod hub. All of these are on the mod hub, by the way. So really easy to download if you want to check these out. But yeah, this one is cool. We've renamed our fields things related to drums. So we have the grass fields here. We have throne, toms, bells, different types of, percussion hardware and things that you would find on your drum set. The throne is like what you call your chair. And then we have Styx with the Y for the Styx River, because there is a little creek right here. So thought that would be kind of fun. And then we're going to rename, like, as we buy these fields, I kind of have plans to name them like certain sections. So here we'll have fields named after different kinds of drumsticks. So here we have Vic and Firth. Vic Firth is a drumstick brand, my favorite one. We'll have like ProMark when we buy another one. So there's some different brands. I plan to have some like drum brands. One of these will be just drum brands. So we'll have like Tama, Gresh, Yamaha, maybe Sonar, things like that. So just a little gimmick, to go with, the theme of the channel. I'm a drummer. I love drums. So I might as well name all the fields in the farm after some drums. So add a little bit of personality to our farm. And then one more mod that I'm really excited about, and we'll see as we drive to our destination here, which actually might be kind of tough because we have a pretty big hill that we have to drive up. So I've actually installed something called, I can't remember exactly, I think it's called More Realistic is the actual name of it. But what it does is it's essentially a mod that overhauls the engine system in the game and a lot of like just kind of the vehicle physics related to engine performance. And so it makes your tractor a bit, you just need more power. It changes the distribution band of the power band, and so you just get like a more realistic acceleration curve. It coasts a lot easier. So one thing that I'd never liked about the base game is that whenever you took your foot off the gas, the tractor would basically just come to a stop by itself. This prevents that. So right now, you can see we're doing 20 miles an hour. If I take my foot off the gas, we're just rolling. In the regular game, it would just completely like stop. And it also changes the way that the CVT behaves, like the CVT transmissions, and I think the manual ones too. It changes like some of the gearing, which you can see like our tachometer there, our RPM gauge is kind of bouncing around a little bit more. And I think it kind of, I've never driven a tractor in real life. I don't know how it's really supposed to function, but supposedly the person who developed this mod has some experience driving tractors, so they could get a little bit more, apparently it's kind of more similar to how a real CVT behaves. And you can see now, like, for example, we are struggling to get up this hill with this full trailer of grain. This hill's actually super steep. Like, I don't know if you ever really have played this map and driven up this particular hill, but it is quite steep, and I always have trouble getting up here. But thankfully we can we seem to be almost at the top. At least we can make it up. We don't have to find an alternate route or anything, which is great. But yeah, I've been playing with this for a little bit. Like I said, since the last episode, I installed it after I recorded that one. And been doing some work with it, and it's really, really good. I like it so far. I think the tractors feel a little bit heavier to drive. I always felt like they were too nimble and kind of too quick. They accelerated too quick and everything. And it just felt a bit unrealistic to me for the vehicles, given that the vehicles are like heavy machines. So you wouldn't expect them to start and stop like as quick as they do, but in the game. But yeah. We'll see how this goes, and if we decide to keep a lot of these mods in here. I think we will. I really like them, but like I said, we'll give it some time and just kind of see. But what do you guys think? Have you guys used any of these mods before? What's your opinions on them? I'd be curious to know what you guys think. But yeah, you can see here to our right, this field is in the process of being cultivated. I don't know where our neighbor is, but we should be able to see him. Probably, this is a big field. They're probably on the other side there. That's why we can't see them. Oh yeah, there we go. Right, you can see you can see him moving there. Got a big quad track just straight ahead there, all the way on the other side. So something kind of cool. Add a little bit more life to the map. And then the last mod that I installed is the Field Goals by Oz, which is the one where the seagulls come in and come to your, like, when you cultivate and plow and you dig up like all the stuff in the soil, they'll come and land on the field and eat all the seeds and everything. So we'll see how that goes come cultivating season, which is not anytime soon. We still gotta wait for canola to grow, and probably not until like, you know, we'll harvest that next summer and then get to some cultivating and things. And actually, I don't even think we'll need to cultivate because we have a direct drill seeder, so I don't know what I'm even talking about. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys, you know, maybe got some ideas about some different mods that are out there if you haven't heard of them. I would definitely recommend trying more realistic if you haven't yet, if you're really into, you know, kind of seeing a different performance in your tractors and something that's a little bit more realistic, a little bit slower paced, in my opinion. I think it's a great mod so far, and I like it. And you can see on the right here on my screen, we have real GPS installed as well. So you can see like the actual PDA of the map as we drive around. There's some different settings with that too that I can kind of play around with, but so far this is kind of what I like. So we'll keep it that way for now, and I might change it later on and play with like different displays and things. But cool mod nonetheless. So let's see. I think this is the right bay here. Just want to make sure that I'm dropping this off at the right one. So yeah, Oakbridge stores. Okay, cool. So, and one other mod that you're going to see here is the manual tipping mod. So if I jump to the exterior camera here, you'll see I'm not actually getting a prompt to tip the trailer, but you can see up at the top there, I have like those little icons that shows the tip side of the trailer. And so if I click on my farm stick here, one of these buttons, did I actually not open the door? Oh, I didn't. I have to open the door. I haven't done it in this game yet. I did it in some other off-camera saves, but I think I actually have to open the side panel. There we go. So now this should, there we go. And yep, works perfectly. This is kind of cool. We can adjust, you know, how high we want to tip the trailer. It's going to be really helpful when we have like, you know, smaller sheds. If we have to dump our grain into a lower, like a, you know, smaller shed or with a low ceiling height. And then I just got to do this, close that. And there we go. Yeah, that's how that mod works. Really, really cool. I like it a lot. I think it adds, again, just a very little thing that adds a lot of immersion to the game. And, you know, having worked, you know, with vehicles and stuff like this before, like when I was in high school, I worked for the parks department and drove a, you know, dump truck around all the time. And it was all, you know, you got to tip the bed manually, and you can, it's just like a button that you hold down. So it's not like a, you know, you press it and then it goes. You actually have to hold it down so you can, you know, tip it however much you want. But yeah, just a little feature that I think is going to be really cool on this farm, especially like I said, I think there are going to be some instances where if we have different crops and we don't have enough silos or something, we can you know, we can tip into just like a smaller shed or something, and we won't have to worry about it hitting the ceiling. So really, really handy. But yeah, I think that just about sums up some of the new additions that we have to the game in terms of mods. Really excited to keep this series going. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've really grown to love this map. I've grown to get a kick out of, like, you know, just scaling up the farm. It's been really fun. It's been a different type of game. I've never really stuck around in a map this long, and it's cool to see kind of starting from, you know, our first tractor, which was this one, to some of the other tractors that we've bought, and, you know, we're going to continue to scale up the farm as we buy more fields. But yeah, you can see right there, there's our neighbor going ahead and getting to work with some cultivating. Big tractor for this area, but we do have some big fields, so who knows, maybe one of these days we will invest in something like that. You don't see them a lot over here in the UK, but in these big commercial, you know, commercial farm areas, you do actually tend to see a couple of quad tracks once in a while. So it would be cool to maybe have one of those in the future when we can afford it or when we need it. But yeah, with all that being said, I think I'm going to go and just jump into a little bit of a quick time lapse here as we deliver the rest of the grain to that sell point. Just make a couple more trips back and forth, and by a couple I mean like a lot, because we have, what was that, like 25,000 liters, and we have, man, like a lot more than that. We had almost 300,000 to start, so it'll be a few trips. It might take us a while, but you know, got to do it while the prices are high. So let's go ahead and get to work, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. And all right, guys, you can see here we're just getting back to the farm, and it's the next day. So it actually took us all day yesterday and a little bit of time this morning. Even we've been up since 8 o'clock running the last few loads of grain down to the store, so it took quite a while to get all that sold. We just had a lot. We had, you know, like I said, almost 300,000 liters. This trailer only holds about 25,000, so took quite a few trips, but the bank account is looking fantastic. We made about 110 grand from selling that barley, which is pretty nuts, actually. Can't complain about that at all. So we're gonna go ahead and disconnect this trailer here, and then we will go and hook up to the bale trailer, and we'll start getting that taken to the sell point. I don't know which one yet. We're gonna look real quick here in a second, see which one's got the best price for silage at the moment. We've got a lot of bales to get through, so I think, like I said today, I think we're just gonna do these 3 fields to the right here, and then we'll wait until we might have to even wait until another couple days, maybe until January, to get the ones off of the big field, the big grass field, because we had to cut that like a month after we cut the other fields. Just the timing is a little bit off since this was our first year buying that big field. So let's go ahead and check the price here. It looks like we got, well, silage is all pretty much the same. Oak Bridge is looking like it's the best one again. Actually, farm store bales seems to be at a high right now too. Whereas I think that's just the one here, I believe. Yep. Might even just take it there. That's pretty close. It's just straight down the road rather than having to go up that big hill and go all the way down there. Yeah, for the same price, we'll do that. We'll take it to the farm store, since that'll be a little bit easier. Forgot to put it in drive. Always important to not keep your tractor in reverse. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into another little time lapse as we go and pick these up. I know not much going on today. Just you know, wrapping up the year. Always fun to see how much our harvest is worth. I always like to do a video kind of at the end to look at our final income from the crops. You know, we sell our grass periodically throughout the year, so that's not too big a deal. But the silage always brings in a big amount of cash during the winter. And selling our grain, it's always interesting to see how much we're going to get. Let's just go ahead and put that in a pickup mode there. Go ahead and start grabbing some of these bales. I love this thing. I know I've said that before, but this piece of equipment is just so nice to have at times like these. When, you know, it's fine to load the bales by hand when you have like one field or so. You know, you got maybe, I don't even know if that's going to get that up. There we go. Maybe if you got like less than 50. But once you get, you know, we're over 100, we're up to 150 bales. This just makes it so much easier. You don't spend a bunch of time out of your day going back and forth in the tractor with the you know, little front loader. Let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. We'll take these down to the store, see how much we get. And we'll check in at the end and look at our profits, you know, for all the bales and the grain. Alright, and here we are at the store, dropping off our first load. And I don't know if you noticed, but it is always so satisfying when there are exactly 24 bales on one of those smaller fields and we can just, you know, get them all delivered in one pass. And it looks like we're about, oh man, that's a very nice profit there. $14,500. No, $16,500. Sorry. From that. Amazing. Amazing. And so let me just do some quick math here. So that was about, let's call it 16,000. So if we have 150 bales, divided by 24 bales a trailer, so we got about 6 loads. So we'll do, actually, well, yeah, 6 times 16.5. What do we got? About 99,000. Let's see if that holds true. But if that's the case, if we can make $100,000 off of all of our silage bales, just from these couple of fields, that is so nice. And it makes me wonder if we should have, you know, if we should add maybe 1 or 2 more grass fields to the mix once we get, you know, like further down the line, once we get some more fields. I haven't decided, because a lot of the fields in the area, there are some pretty big grass fields in the area that I don't know if I necessarily want to keep as grass, because some of them I think are a little bit too big. That would just be so many bales. And granted, the money is great, but I kind of would prefer to turn them into crop fields if I can. And maybe we'll use some of these smaller fields. Maybe we'll turn them into grass fields. Like, you know, I hope to buy this one here on the right sometime soon. This is a bit smaller one that's got those crops in it right now. This other one here, there's one on the left. I forget if it's this one or the one next to it. But it is a bit smaller, so we could be able to work with that. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to the farm, get the rest of the silage bales, and then we'll really check in, like I said, once we're done with selling all of them, and we'll see how much money we have at the end of all that. So, see you guys soon. Alright, so I wanted to bring you guys back in here real quick, because it's snowing pretty good. And I originally thought that this field of bales wasn't going to be ready to go today. I forgot when I checked them last, but I thought it might be in a couple more days, or maybe even into January. But it looks like, yeah, they're ready to go. You can see down there it says silage instead of just grass fermenting. So I checked a few of them on this side, and they all seem to be good to go. So, you know, I did this all on the same day, or baled these all on the same day and wrapped them all on the same day. So they should, if one's good, they should all be good. Go ahead and hop back into the tractor there. And instead of heading to the dealership like I planned, we'll just go ahead and jump right into this field. Start grabbing these. So we got we had a load plus 2 bales off of the, you know, the other field there, or the third one. And then we had to do the small field right to our right here, kind of behind us. That field only had about only had 11 bales on it, so we're up to 13. And here we got quite a few. So this is going to take, I think, quite a few loads back and forth here. It's only about 3 o'clock, so we got some time left in the day. It does get pretty dark early on though, and if it gets too snowy and the roads start getting a little slick, maybe we'll call it quits for today and, you know, finish up the rest tomorrow. But we still got some time. It doesn't seem to be coming down. Roads are still looking good right now, so not too much to worry about there currently. Yeah, we'll start to see if there's any accumulation. It might be getting a little bit treacherous for our big tractor to be going up and down these small roads. No need to, you know, risk getting in an accident just to get some bales delivered when the price doesn't really even fluctuate too bad for these silage bales anyway. Yeah, we'll go ahead and, like I keep saying, just wrap this up. Yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys back because I didn't think we were going to be able to get to this field today, and it turns out that that we can, which is always nice. Get all of our work done a bit quicker, and then we'll just kind of relax until springtime. Not too much to do in the winter. You know, we don't have any animals or anything like that. Speaking of which, though, I guess that brings me to a quick thought. We do have this this cow barn here. You know, I'm starting to wonder if it might be worth it to if it might be in a place where we can actually make that investment and get some cows in there. So I don't think it can hold a ton. It might even be like maybe just like 50 or something. But even like 50 cows, it's got some milk machines in there and some milk storage tanks. So we could actually, you know, get some dairy cows and get a little dairy operation. You know, a little bit of extra income. You know, you sell your milk pretty much every day. So I don't know. You know, the prices do fluctuate, but either way, it's not a bad little gig. And for as much grass that we have, grassland, we could really do a good job of getting some silage, some hay. We definitely have had our fair share of straw from our straw harvest, and so I guess, you know, maybe I'll leave it to you guys. Maybe I'll think about putting up a poll here again, as I usually do, since we are on the verge of what do we have planted? We have canola planted now, but next year we'll do wheat. So once we get our wheat planted, we'll be able to we'll have some straw again. So it'll be a matter of, you know, whether or not we're going to keep some of that straw if we decide to get some cows or not. Otherwise, we'll just sell it all like we usually do. But, you know, if we're going to get some cows, then maybe we'll find a place to store some of that, get some straw in hand, start keeping some of our hay bales, start keeping some of our silage bales. But we also need a ton of new equipment, so that'll be a big investment for us. You know, we'll need a mixer for our TMR. We'll need some something to deal with either if we use manure or slurry. We'll need, you know, each of those spreaders. We'll need, what else do we need? I'm trying to think what else we got. I don't know, at the very least, probably, you know, if we do decide to do a manure, we'll probably need some kind of straw blower as well. So a couple of things. And, you know, honestly, if we did make that investment and go that route to get some cows, I'd probably even look into buying a new tractor as well. You know, preferably something used, something a bit smaller, just you know, something to pull the mixer, something to, you know, maybe we can attach a front loader and you know, move the manure around and everything, and kind of, you know, clean up the pens and all that. So we'll have to see, but at least something small would be useful to, you know, get around the barn and all that. But I don't know. I'll leave it to you guys. Might put up the poll after this episode. Might wait a little bit more once we get kind of closer to the to harvest season with our wheat, which will be not until, you know, the following year, so it might be a little bit. But just thinking about, you know, long term again, thinking about some investments. You know, where do we want to go with the farm? Do we want to stay exclusively crops, or do we want to get some livestock since we already have the infrastructure to do that? I think it would be kind of fun to get some cows, get a little bit of income, have a little bit more, bring some, you know, life to the farm a little bit, give us something to do in the winter rather than just wait around to cut grass in the spring. So we'll think about it. Not an urgent matter, but we'll go ahead and get back to work here, finish up this whole field of bales, and we're already up to 247,000 in the bank, which is amazing. Just from, you know, from silage, we've already almost made 100 grand just from silage, and we still have this big field of bales left. Probably got through like half our bales, if not less, by now. So ways to go, lots of money to be made. Let's get back to it. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. And all right, here we go. Last load of bales, last 19. About to head to the store here. Snow's really coming down. Beautiful night though. Not too much accumulation yet, but it'll probably change. I don't know, maybe in a little bit here. It's supposed to be stopping pretty soon though, but yeah, beautiful winter day. Love the change of seasons. Love the snow coming down. I'm actually one of those weird people that loves the snow. I just don't like the cold. You know, snow's fine, but until it gets to be about like anything below, I don't know, 15 degrees Fahrenheit, gets a little bit unpleasant. Especially, you know, where I'm from, it can be sometimes even way lower than that, you know, below zero and all that. And it gets cold, and cold sucks, but I do love the snow, so always nice to see. But yeah, I think my math was a little bit off. We're up to 281 grand from our, well, I guess, yeah, it makes sense that it was off because I did 16,000, we were getting about 16,500 per load, so, you know, throw in an extra couple $1,000, plus not a full load here, but we'll get another couple grand, put us up probably about 290, give or take, and that'll be enough to buy one of these fields. So I'm really excited to do that. I haven't decided which one I want to get yet. I think one of them I'll be able to get for this price, for something like under, you know, I think they're both under 200. I'll show you which ones after we drop these off. I'll show you real quick which ones I'm thinking about getting. Well, I already kind of showed you one of them, but I forget where the other one is. I think it's either we just passed it or it's one of these up here on the right. I think both of them are less than 10 acres. They're not the biggest fields at all. Like this one here on the left is, I think it's like 7 point something, maybe almost 8. But, you know, any field that we have is going to be worth it to us because like I said, you know, all the time we're talking about exponential growth. The more fields, the more crops, and we use that money, keep buying fields. It's just important, you know, we've been financing a lot of our equipment because we just want to keep cash in the bank. You know, we want to keep some pretty liquid funds because fields, you know, you can't really finance the fields. We kind of just gotta buy them outright and, you know, just have all the money on hand. Whereas the equipment, we can go ahead and, you know, finance that over time, make some payments, you know, have some better use of our assets a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these unloaded, see what we got. So there we go, another 12, almost $13,000 just from those bales. Really profitable day, almost at the 300 grand. So yeah, so before we head back here while this trailer's getting set up, let's just go ahead and jump into the map view. And yeah, so I want to get either field 9 or field 11. So yeah, field 11 is the one that I was just thinking about 8 acres. We get a little bit of a discount on this, so this will bring us down to about maybe just under 200,000, which will be awesome. This one is a bit bigger, 10 acres. Got some barley on it right now, but might wait on this until after that's harvested. So we might even sit on this for a little bit, and maybe we'll buy this one so that we can you know, work on it right away come springtime. Even though I don't really think we could plant anything. Yeah, we kind of missed our planting window for all of our crops. So there's nothing to really do until the summer. But what I will do is start getting, if we get this one, I'll get this one on a little bit of a different rotation probably. So we can start, you know, getting a different crop in the mix. We'll see. Yeah, field 9 and 11 are looking promising. I think I'll get field 11 first and then save up some more money and get field 9. By the time we probably get a couple of loads of hay, who knows, maybe I'll even do a couple loads of silage given the massive income that we've had. But well, yeah, we'll make some more money in the spring and the summer with our couple of cuts of grass, and then we'll also have this to harvest in the summer. So then, you know, come end of the summer, we might even be able to purchase this field. Who knows? That some contract work, some harvesting contracts, maybe we'll come into some cash. And we only need just over 200 grand, so we can probably do that, especially if we have, you know, another kind of almost 100,000 in the bank after we after we purchase that smaller field. So really good things happening on the farm. Really excited for the future. I'll keep the cows in mind and kind of the future investments, you know, if you want to go down that path. But for now, I think we are at a good spot to call it an episode. Not too much going on, like I said, but it's always fun to see how much our crops are worth at the end of the year. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. We'll go head back to the farm, call it a night, and I may or may not bring you guys back in the springtime. We'll see what goes on there. If there's anything exciting to share, you guys already know that I'm going to buy another field, so I'll think about that. I'll let you guys know, and maybe I'll bring you in for spring grass work. If not, then I'll see you in the probably in the canola harvest in the summer. So shaping up to be a good year, and I hope that you guys all have a great rest of your week. We'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out.